What is going on, guys? We have Sam from Nova Rally Wax here. How's it going today?
Excellent. We just launched yesterday. Stressful day, but overall kind of successful launch. It's kind of cool to just see that I can go to sleep and wake up and this thing is still working. People are still playing the game. So
Yeah.
it's a big achievement, especially
Yeah.
technically.
Congrats on that. Before we get into Nova Rally, do you want to just get into how you got into crypto, that backstory real quick?
Yeah, so I mean, I think everyone's kind of familiar with like Bitcoin and stuff from when they were younger. I bought in like a little bit about Bitcoin when I was in university, not masses. Always followed it with interest, but then problem I had is I never use it. It just sits there. It's boring. And then NFTs came along, lockdown, nothing to do, and it's just like you just buy all this stuff, these digital assets, and the games that you can play, and that kind of got me hooked and led me on to the Wax blockchain because I had the problem with having to pay so much in fees on Ethereum. So I found myself on Wax and then played a few games there and then kind of thought to myself like, wow, I've had ideas for kind of blockchain game for a while, so why don't I just do my own game and just see how it goes? And then the sale went incredibly successfully, and from there we built Nova Rally, and I have my community and my stream, my own stream, so people follow me and give my opinions on stuff mainly on Wax. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So like you've been in the crypto space obviously a while. You said when you first bought Bitcoin a couple of years back, but you just had it sitting in your wallet. What made you, when you first started using Wax, feel like, okay, this was the blockchain that you could use to start playing around? You know, because obviously there was, other blockchains like Ethereum and stuff like that. What made you feel like Wax was a great chain?
It just seemed like a very mature product, like the Atomic Hub, a marketplace where people go and buy and sell things. It's very easy to actually like make money. You buy stuff at some price, sell at another price. You can see all the history of all of the prices. The the filtering was very good, and then yeah. So some of the stuff that they had was like I hadn't really seen before. Maybe the OpenSea has some of that stuff as now as well. But at the time I was looking at it, I was thinking, actually, this just seems like a very mature product, minus the fees, which I, can't afford to pay on a regular basis. Like most people have like a big bag of ETH that they've got from ages ago. I don't have any.
Right.
Like so,
Right.
paying the transaction fees, like sometimes it was costing me as much in the fee as it was to do the thing. And but mainly what got me to stick around Wax was the community side of things. Very easy to talk to all of the people in all of the communities and get help. So it's kind of got that family feel, I guess.
Yeah, the Wax community is pretty strong in my opinion. We're the 16th project to come on this podcast, so we're going pretty strong.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, Wax honestly is the first time I actually used a blockchain and didn't feel like it was a beta product. And the community, if you ever have any questions as far as like, if you want to launch something, that's probably where you might need a little technical skill. But the community is so responsive that it just makes it a joy. Can you talk a little bit about your inspiration for Nova Rally? Why do it?
The thing is I was thinking about what like because I played Alien Worlds, right? When you just mine and that's it every day. And then there's some part of the community, like our Alien Worlds community was based on the fact is that we were going to try and get people onto the council and try and play the meta game like that. And I was thinking about other things where, what can you do other than just do something? You need to build towards something. And my friend showed me these 3D models of like hovering cars and said, well, how do you think the racing game would work on Wax? And I had like all of these ideas of like a blockchain based system for like matchmaking and things. And I was like, this kind of seems like a perfect fit for it. But I was like, I don't want to just do a racing game. I want it to be more than that. So I took a lot of inspiration from like wacky races because it needs to be fun. A lot of these racing games on Wax are actually like they don't have very much soul in my opinion. Like the they all look like neon. I don't know why every racing game on white is like neon style and uh, like the. So I thought, well, the wacky racers is something that people could get behind. Like it's all about the dynamic duos, um, Dick Dastardly and Motley, and so the idea of like, okay, well, we had loads of different characters and combinations. I'm a big Dota player as well, so part of the fun of Dota is you wake up every day and you think, I'm going to try a different hero today. I'm going to try a different combination, lane combination. So that plays a big factor as well. Is that I want people to wake up and think, do you know what? I'm going to try racing Sammy Snake and Zika today, whereas before I was doing Dilly and like experimenting.
So for our audience, can you explain kind of the different characters, the different types of races, all that kind of stuff?
Sorry, can you just repeat that first bit?
Yeah, sorry. So for our audience, can you just quickly describe like the different kind of characters that come in the packs and the different types of packs, the different kinds of races you can do?
Yeah. So there's 21 characters in the game. There's 4 different types of packs which have all already been sold out in June. So you can buy the characters for very cheap on the secondary market. So you need a car and 2 characters to race. There's 10 types of cars. They're all kind of like 3D hovering sort of thing. So we've got like the Salamander, the Rome. They all look pretty nice. I can show you. I can bring it up on the screen at some point if you want me to. And then the 21 characters, again, it's just like they're all actually, the names are clues as to how the game works and how the race results are calculated. So it's kind of like a puzzle game that meant, because each season in Nova Rally is like, it works completely differently. So over the course of the season, I'd expect the players to try and work out the mystery of the Nova Rally season and how it works. So all of the characters' names, as stupid as they seem, are all linked to how the game actually works. So it's a little bit of something else for people to spend some time looking into other than racing. So when you buy a standard pack, which is the lowest form of packs, you get a car, which you need to race, and you get 9 characters. The next pack is they've got 2 car slots and then 18 character slots. And then it goes 3 and 27 and then 4 and 36. But the best thing to do to start racing is to just buy 1 car and then a selection of characters that you want. So a car will probably cost you $10 to $15 at the moment, and then you can kind of get characters for like $1.50 each. So you can just search on the market and have a look at which ones that you like the look of, and then you can try out different combinations there. If you like the game and you want to get further and earn better rewards, we have this system called promotion, and you get 3 of the same character, and when one of those characters gets 10 wins, you have the option to promote. So you take 3 Sammy Snakes and you send them off to be burned, and you get a new one in the intermediate league. So everyone starts off in rookie league, and then after you get your 10 wins, you sacrifice 3 of the same racer, and then you now get 1 Sammy Snake in intermediate league, and you earn double the amount of rewards for winning a race. So it comes in different steps. So a lot of people are maybe not even interested in that aspect. They'll just be like, they'll just do their 10 races and not even think about promotion, but there needs to be progression for other players, and they can earn more through progressing.
So when you say rewards that players can earn, can you explain a little bit of the tokenomics? You guys have your own token, right?
Yeah, so for simply holding any of our assets, you receive fuel tokens. There's 4 different types of fuel representing which league you're in. So everyone starts out in rookie league, so you all get snake oil. And you use that snake oil to enter races. And then as you progress through the leagues, you'll need additional tokens. When you win a race, you earn a shard pack, which it already says what the rarity is. So if you're lucky, you get a rare vehicle shard, for example. That's probably the most valuable thing that you can win in Rookie League. You get 5 of those, you build a rare car, and a rare car goes for over $100. So like that's the earning potential of the game, because the rare cars are good. They set good times in the races. So the best way to earn is to build cars, because I think they're they're like a premium thing, because everyone needs a car to race. They're a bit more expensive and in shorter supply. So that's kind of the core. That's the very basic mechanics. We have also some other game modes, one of which is I'd like to talk about, which is the Death Rally, which is the exciting one we've got coming up. And that once per day, you submit your lineup into the Death Rally. So 2 characters in a car, and then everyone could enter. So let's say there's 5,000 people entering. There's only going to be one winner, and 95% of the entrants are going to have their characters burned. So that's a lot of characters that will die and be removed from the blockchain. But the rewards are pretty good. So if you place in the top 1% of the Death Rally, you get what's called a driver's manual, and that allows you to promote your characters, which is a lot cheaper because you don't need to buy, like, if you were to buy 3 rare cars, it would cost you like $300, $400, right? Whereas if you have a driver's manual, you only need 1 rare car, and then you just put it on, and you promote it, and suddenly you've got a better performing car in the next league. So, plus it's that risk reward. The not knowing whether your characters are going to survive or not is kind of a thrill. So it's all the smart contracts are finished. It's just testing and the UI, and then over the next couple of weeks we'll get that Death Rally implemented. And I think that's when things will start ramping up a lot, because I think that's what people are looking forward to.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. I like to ask people who build on Wax. Obviously, everything crypto blockchain is open source. Is there any sort of future collaborations that you would be excited? Maybe not anything that's necessarily in the works, but something that maybe you could see a little bit further down the line, partnering up with or doing something together. I know you mentioned a matchmaking service. Would that be something you thought maybe you could build and then open source for the community?
So right now the collaborations that we do is that we let other projects like become like stakeable on our platform. In terms of the matchmaking, some of the stuff can be open sourced, and if people ask us how to do stuff, then we say, yeah, here you go. Whereas like some of the stuff is like linked to the secrets of Nova Rally, so you don't want to let people obviously look at the code. But like the developers on Wax, we all kind of talk to each other and get tips on how to do stuff better. So I'm trying to build up that more and more, so maybe people that don't know us from some of the bigger projects, if they want advice on how to do some things, because I'm not aware of anyone else doing this kind of type of matchmaking on Wax to such a large extent. Like they might be doing like 1-to-1, but like, we can take in thousands at once and process it.
Wow.
So,
Nice.
but that's technically, and the thing is that is technically our IP as well. So it comes a stage of to what degree do you open source versus what, because it's spent us months building this as well. So.
Right.
You mentioned earlier that the rarer cards have like better times in the races. Is there like a system you have in place so people aren't like overpowered, so they can just win every race?
Yeah, so even if you've got the best car, which is a classic car, which costs you like $500, you're not going to win every race. Like people are seeing that. I see common, like yesterday I saw a lot of common cars which cost $10 beating classic cars, which is exactly how I wanted the game to work. But over enough races, you should see improvement. And the key thing is the time improvement, right? So anyone could get a little bit lucky, and if you like, Nova Rally is all about the times you set. So right now, the launch is that like what we do is like 20 minutes is the absolute worst time, right? That's kind of like the benchmark, and then any improvements that your cars and characters make, you save a little bit of time. So like a good solid time that wins races at the moment is around 19 minutes 30 seconds. So you save 30 seconds throughout the race, so by some means. Whereas like obviously you can win. I've seen people win with like only saving 10 seconds, and like that's the thing. So you might win that race once, but over time you're not consistently going to win if you only save 10 seconds, for example. And part of the larger ecosystem of the game is about setting the best times and getting invites to the World Championship at the end of the season. So the World Championship is meant to be like something for players to work towards, like in terms of every season they want to be in the World Championship. We have a fantastic prize in that if you win the World Championship, you get to design your own car for the next season, and you will get an NFT that allows only you to produce that car. So you can manufacture that car, and you could be the only person selling that model on the market. It's pretty insane. But it's not just that. I want players to. It's about like in-game legacy. So they want to be in the Hall of Fame. So this is something that I took inspiration from Our Planet, another game on Wax, in that if you're the first person to invent something, a new combination that works that no one else has tried, you get an inventor prize. It's an NFT to say that I invented this thing. So that is something like back when I used to play the game, there wasn't a financial reward for being an inventor. It was just to see. That's kind of what the World Championship is about. So if you win the World Championship, you end up in the Hall of Fame. And then, you're building up this legacy inside this game. It's a reason for you to keep playing. So it's got to be more than just, okay, I'm going to spam my races every day and then I'm going to log out. It needs to be bigger than that to keep people in the ecosystem.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I was actually telling Dylan I used to play the old Need for Speed. I don't know if you ever played those games, the Need for Speed racing. And I didn't, I'd play for a little while and racing, I like it, but it wasn't enough to keep me. What I really liked to do was customize the cars. And I always wanted to show them off, and I obviously never could, just to my family. So I always thought somebody should do something with a high level of customization in the car world. And NFTs, that would be really popular, I think, for a lot of people. One of the things I wanted to ask you, I noticed with a lot of these play-to-earn NFT games, as a user, I do notice that some of them, the more popular ones, it's hard for a new user to just jump in and go. They usually have to purchase something that's relatively expensive just to start out the game. Is this game like that, or can any user just pick it up and start playing and get some starter tools?
So there is a purchase cost to get started, right? But it's not nearly as significant as other games because there's just so many NFTs. The idea of the racing aspect is meant to be the one that draws people in, so everyone can race no matter what. So it's cheap to race. Right now you can get started for $20, right? But $20 is a lot of money to some of the countries of which we're targeting. So I'm starting up my own scholarship scheme where I play the game. I know how it works, but that doesn't guarantee that I win. But everything I do win, I am like crafting into units. I will start people off in developing countries and get them earning, because like when you win, you actually, these things, they're a couple of dollars, and a couple of dollars can go a long way in some of these countries. So I did a similar thing for Alien Worlds. I gave away like it must have been like nearly like $10,000 worth of NFTs to developing countries in Alien Worlds. So I will probably do the same thing for my own game, in that try and get as many people started as possible, because there is a state of, I'm a bit sad that Alien Worlds is not making as much money anymore, because there were people in my community paying their families medical bills, medication bills through earning. So
wow.
And that's the thing. That's why people play Axie as well. Like Axie pays for a lot of that stuff as well. So it's this reliable, regular income. So I want to keep the Nova Rally ecosystem very like stable, so people can reliably earn from it. But it's about getting them started. So like compared to other games, like you don't need to spend $100 to get started in Nova Rally. You need to spend $20, $30, $40. But I want to go beyond that. And there's several countries that I want to build communities in, so the scholarship scheme will be part of that. And other players, if they just want to donate to help grow the game, or just do a good thing, a charitable cause, then they can join my scholarship scheme. And we're not getting any profits out of it. It's just a nice thing to do. So it's something that I've always believed in. And yeah, we helped a lot of people with Alien Worlds for a short time until the problem is then bots started farming ridiculously people started getting banned, and then we lost a lot of those people because of they obviously need to make a living for their family. So I want to try and get back some of those people.
Other than the bots, have you run into any other problems on Wax as a team building on Wax? Have you been running into anything you would change?
The only thing is the documentation for Wax is not fantastic. You often feel like you are banging your head against a brick wall until something finally clicks. There's like a few people that are very knowledgeable that provide all of the answers, which is fantastic. They're so good to speak to. I feel like um, more developer enablement is always a good thing. More tools to help developers, more documentation, especially from the Wax official team. I think that would be welcome, because like I've actually had people from other blockchains come and try and poach Nova Rally for their blockchain, and that's the sort of stuff that they're offering. They're offering grants, a lot of promotion, and that sort of thing. So it would be, it would be good. I'm starting to reach out to the Wax team and see, well, what kind of support can we do for our games, because there's a lot of good games on Wax now, especially now. It's not just one or two games anymore. There's like, well, you said there's 16 projects we've had on this show, and like every couple of months there's a new game launching on Wax. There's loads of good ones.
Right.
So it's about showcasing it to the wider blockchain community. And the one good thing that they've done is called the boost.wax service. So we're trying to get this implemented for Nova Rally, in that people can get their first few transactions for free. They don't need to stake anything, because that's the main problem. You got to think about onboarding. How do you get someone brand new to blockchain gaming playing? You get them a wallet. Wax Cloud Wallet is the easiest way to set up a crypto wallet, in my opinion. Period. You just click sign in with Gmail, and you've got an account, right? Then you actually need to stake CPU and net, and that confuses people. People think that it's CPU from the computer. You can kind of understand why. Like, they're not blockchain experts. So this
Right.
boost.wax service helps them get, let's say, 10, 15 transactions a day for free, so they don't need to worry about that, right? So that's perfect. What they've done there is allow you to do the transactions for free, with not, because it's when that staking system comes out, right? But then what we can do is Nova Rally becomes more successful, is we could fund the entire CPU pool, and then no one playing our game would even need to know about anything about net or CPU. They'd just be playing the game. They don't need to care. And I think that's the ideal scenario, is that people see like these error messages, and then they're just like, what?
Right.
I need to stake my CPU?
Someday we'll get there.
They just stop playing.
Right.
Right.
So you.
Yeah. I one question I like to ask as well is, I feel like as a user, Wax blockchain is pretty great. It has the occasional errors and the kinks that need to be worked out. But as somebody who is building on Wax, I personally believe we're going to get to a point where anybody will feel comfortable to build on an NFT on Wax in the same way that you build a story on Twitter or Instagram or something like that. Do you think, as somebody who's launched something on Wax, do you think that moment is soon? It might be a hard question. How far out do you think we are?
I think a big credit to a service called Nifty Blocks. They've definitely pushed the space on a lot further. A lot of projects would not have been able to do a big sale without Nifty Blocks. So for people that don't know, Nifty Blocks is a set of tools that sort of layer over these blockchain smart contracts, and it's exactly that. It's a simple user interface for anyone to set up drops, packs. Like to do a pack, like when I first started on Wax, doing a pack was a complicated process, and they make it easy, and they offered it for free. So that Nova Rally, like we sold like 11,500 packs, and that had all these different types of NFTs in them, and I would not have been able to do that without Nifty Blocks. I would have had to have contacted Atomic Hub and maybe paid some fees for them to manage it, but me myself was able to learn how to do it. Now, as their interface improves, and also Atomic Hub now have this feedback feature of their site where people are putting all of these things that they'd like to see, and they're stepping their game up in terms of making it a lot more easy for people to create NFTs and do cool stuff. So that's the thing. Like,
How big is
I'm
your
not sure
team?
how. Sorry, what did you say there, Cody?
How big is your team?
I don't know if he's lagging for you, but I think he said, "How big is your team?"
Yeah, I couldn't hear that.
Oh, he's back.
Sorry, Cody. What did you say there?
Okay, I was asking, how big is your team for Nova Rally?
So now we've got a team of 12 people. There's me, there's Zika, who's the art director, Valera, who's the, like, these are the things all you need to do to scale a big project. So we've got someone doing QA, we've got a few smart contract developers, and then we've got the front end developers, because at first I was kind of the opinion of like, well, let's just build the smart contracts and maybe people can help test it with the smart contracts, but I was just like, it's just going to be too confusing. So we spent a lot of time and effort now on the Nova Rally website, and I think it has paid off. Like it's incredibly simple. Like, I love the Nova Rally UI now. Like, I'm really proud of what we've done with it. And it's to the point where I showed my parents how to do it, and they can enter into races, which is a big deal.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we just lost Cody. So do you want to shout
He'll
out?
be back.
What's that?
He'll be back.
Yeah. Before we wrap this up, do you want to shout out your website, your Twitter, where people can buy the packs, etc.?
Yes. So if you want to buy the well, first of all, the easiest thing to do is to check us out on Twitter, Nova Rally Wax. That contains the links to all of the information. We've got a get started Twitter post, which literally lists all of the steps that you would need. So where you can buy cars, where you can buy characters, where you can read more about the game. It would be great if you could also watch we've got a trailer. So if you watch the trailer, it kind of explains what it's about. That's pinned on the Twitter page. So I would say Nova Rally Wax capital letters is the best place to get started, and check us out.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on. I'll leave a link to all your stuff in the description down below for anyone that watches this later. So, yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, pleasure having me.
Have a good day. See ya.
See ya.